Ladies and gentlemen, John Durham is either going to get a conviction leading to a 5-year prison sentence. This is according to the New York Post. The charge against Sussman, the third indictment in the Durham probe special counsel, carries a maximum of 5 years in prison, for giving false statements to James Baker, the Bureau's top legal counsel under James Comey. Or there's going to be a plea deal in which Sussman will flip and sing, perhaps against Tech Executive One, or the Clinton campaign, or people like Comey or Strzok or McCabe or Clapper. So there's no doubt that Durham probe special counsel is going to get a conviction. There's no doubt at all. The judge in this case, it's going to trial, so the judge won't drop Durham case against Clinton campaign lawyer Sussman. This is the New York Post. That's today. They tried to dismiss the case, and it didn't work. So Clinton-aligned lawyer charged by U.S. prosecutor loses bid to toss case. Reuters. They also lost a bid to remove the factual background. They also, I believe they almost certainly lost the attempt at preventing a special agent from testifying. They're going to get a conviction because this attorney, who was paid by Trump's direct political rivals, lied to the Bureau, said that he was only giving information, surveillance data, cyber information, and internet data, non-public data and information that they obtained from Trump Tower, from Trump Tower, a healthcare provider, Trump's apartment, and the executive office of the president up until and even past February of 2017. So who was president in February of 2017? Donald Trump. They engaged in surveillance of an incoming president while he was in the Oval Office. Okay. What this attorney is being indicted for is telling James Baker, James Comey's top legal counsel, that he was only giving information obtained through a whole bunch of researchers and Tech Executive One. He was only giving that information to the Bureau to be a good citizen, to help the Federal Bureau of Investigation. He wasn't doing so to set up and frame Trump. Had he simply told the truth, then James Baker, according to the government, would never have accepted the information. If the government knew that this attorney paid by Hillary was spreading false or salacious information, or information that was gathered simply to go after their direct political rival, then people at the government officials wouldn't have accepted the information. They were duped. They really thought that this attorney who worked for a law firm that everyone knew was working with Democrats, they really thought that this man, Michael Sussman, because his text messages showed that he was just giving that information. He told Baker he was just giving that information because he was a good citizen to help the Bureau. They really thought that all of this information and data and cyber and internet data was simply compiled for the benefit of national security and not for any political motivation or possible criminal conduct. So they accepted the information. The Bureau did. James Baker then, of course, gave it to other people at this government agency, and they investigated Donald Trump. And they found, of course, that it was complete nonsense. They're going to get a conviction. Easy. So now we have to discuss, well, what happens after this conviction? Or what happens? Is there a plea deal? But hit subscribe to this channel right now. Ladies and gentlemen, hit subscribe. And by the way, to my viewers in the UK and everywhere else in the world that watches these segments at this time, so it's in the West Coast of the United States, it's late in the evening. It might be in the morning your time. If it's in the morning your time, let me know in the comments section, and I thank you so very much wherever you're watching for watching this channel. Tell your friends. Word of mouth is the best thing you could do to support my work. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I started a comedy channel, pure satire. It's going to be hilarious. The channel is me pretending that I'm a highly educated, morally superior, wonderful liberal Democrat who believes that Trump should be treated like Danchenko, Sussman, Kleinsmith, the three people indicted in the Durham probe special counsel thus far. There are people, millions unfortunately, who think that Donald Trump committed numerous crimes. He didn't. The hilarious part of the basis for the comedy channel, and the name is Indict and Imprison 45, is that I am going to pretend to be a wonderful, highly educated Democrat, basically regurgitating what CNN and MSNBC and legal pundits, who are always wrong when it comes to Trump, what they think and why he should be charged and indicted. I do these segments sometimes on this channel where it's like pure satire, but a lot of people don't realize that it's satire, and they're like, why are you doing this, HA? Why? But this channel, the link will be below in the pinned comment. It's actually, the channel title is Indict and Imprison 45. And I'm going to start probably tomorrow or the next day. So please go ahead and subscribe to that channel. It's just pure comedy. I actually have a segment that I did several years back where I dressed up, and you'll see it. But I don't think I'll be dressing up, for the duration of that channel. Anyway, it's called Indict and Imprison 45. Hit subscribe to it. It's below in the pinned comment. Ladies and gentlemen, and if you want to support my work, my Patreon is below. Read my Federalist article predicting all the terrible economic news we're seeing now. It's only going to get worse. We're heading towards a devastating stock market crash, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look at why the judge refused to dismiss the case, the judge did not dismiss the case because the lie that was told is not only material, it is the basis for all the investigations into Trump. What happened was Clinton, the Democratic Party, outsourced. They didn't purchase the Steele dossier. So Bill Clinton didn't say, oh, hey, Christopher Steele, what are you doing? Can you go ahead and write a dossier for me? They didn't. That's not the way. They don't accept money from Uranium One. They go through a foundation. They don't set up and frame Trump themselves. They purchase a contract, or they pay Fusion GPS and Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele and his company through attorneys, through a law firm that hires them on behalf of the Clinton campaign. Same thing that took place with Sussman and the tech executive and tech researchers. The fact that Sussman lied about meeting with Baker, the FBI's top legal counsel, the reason that is important and material to the case, the reason that his defense team wanted to throw that out of court, is because it obviously points to a widespread attempt at funneling lies, deceit, corruption into the U.S. government. So false allegations into the U.S. government to start investigations of Donald Trump. Okay? The Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The New Yorker, The Atlantic, Mother Jones, The Nation, Vanity Fair, Esquire, New York Magazine, New Yorker, Los Angeles Times, every major publication, Jimmy Kimmel, social media algorithms. None of the public relations monstrosity propping up the Democratic Party would have stood for this. They would say, wait a second, you have Rudy Giuliani or you have Donald Trump's attorneys purchasing non-public data obtained through surveillance on whether it's mashed potato brains Biden or Clinton or anyone else. And then funneling that to loyalists within the United States government. Trump Republican loyalists. Notice how they didn't, when Richard Grenell and John Ratcliffe or anyone that worked in Trump's White House or Trump's intel community, when they said something, media just ignored everything. When James Clapper or John Brennan says something, it's an appeal to authority. Oh my God, you have to listen. They're experts, and they're trying to defend the country from a hostile foreign country installing Trump. Tens of millions of people believe the greatest lie ever told in American politics, that Trump was installed by another country, or that Trump benefited from another country's attempt at installing him through Facebook ads. This is nonsense. It is not true. It is a hoax and a myth that they purchased. John Durham now is unraveling all of this. The third indictment. Each of these indictments is different from the Mueller probe indictments. You saw Democrats so happy that people were indicted under the Mueller probe. They were being set up and framed. Kevin Kleinsmith, Strzok, they set up and framed Papadopoulos. George Papadopoulos had absolutely nothing to do with any interference, because that interference never took place. Not one person saw a Facebook ad or a Twitter bot, not one person, and said, I'm voting for Trump over Clinton. And the DNC emails showed that Bernie Sanders was cheated. But Bernie Sanders being cheated is not any other country's fault. That's the Democratic Party's fault. So the corruption within the Democratic Party, because it happened, obviously encouraged voters to vote for Trump. But knowing about that corruption, that was even before the DNC emails. I remember being the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post at that time, and being the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. Okay? People were trying, when I was on, I don't have Twitter, I don't have Facebook, but I remember all of these vote blue no matter who people saying, oh, that's all you have, that's all you have, that's all, oh, that's all you, poor Bernie, he was cheated, big deal, no problem. Then they lost. Then it was a foreign plot. Then it was, oh my God, interference, democracy, all of this. You have to understand, if you go back in time, these people were the most arrogant, overconfident people. Then when they lost, it was, oh my God, Trump was installed by the Kremlin. People like Sussman helped perpetuate and promulgate and spread these absurd theories. The people who believe in conspiratorial theories the most are the highly educated, morally superior liberal Democrats. They're the ones who believe complete nonsense that other countries are at fault for letting the world know about their corruption, whether it's Hunter's emails, pay-to-play schemes, or Bernie being cheated. But anyway, you have Clinton with servers and top-secret intelligence on private servers running outside of the United States government. Comey said, gosh, she didn't mean to use those servers. Well, of course she did. What the Alpha Bank nonsense, the hoax, that was basically saying, okay, well, Trump has his own servers and he's communicating with the Kremlin. That was nonsense. That was false. You're going to get a conviction because there's no way that Sussman can prove that he didn't lie. He did lie. And there's no way he can prove that his lie didn't lead to investigations, because it did. And there's no way he can prove that, well, he could. Now here's the thing. He can actually point to and prove that there were officials at the Bureau who wanted to go after Trump on their own. And that's where the plea deal comes in. So 14 minutes in, if you've lasted this long, you could say, hey, just go to 14 minutes. Or, if there's a plea deal, see, Kleinsmith got a slap on the wrist because he was a government official. And that's a little bit too close to the Bureau. Okay? He fabricated information. He literally lied to a FISA judge just to prolong investigations. They didn't have anything on Trump. They were going after Carter Page and Michael Flynn and George Papadopoulos and all these people. These were process crimes that had nothing to do with anyone installing Trump, because that never happened. Trump won, like I said he would, against Clinton. By the way, I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. Please, God, make it happen. Or, like I said in the prior segment, DeSantis is fantastic. If Trump didn't want to run, DeSantis could win. He might be able to win easier than Trump because he doesn't elicit that same reaction from tens of millions of Democratic voters. But I think since we're still living in this 2016 matrix, Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump 2024, we need that. And I would just love to see all of these wonderful far-left voters vote for Hillary Clinton. I would love to see that for a number of reasons. But anyway, and plus, like, she would be a million times better within that world than mashed potato brains Biden. I mean, there's no comparison. I would vote for Trump or DeSantis a million out of a million times. But anyway, I would just love to see Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024. It would be fantastic. Anyway, for a number of reasons. But anyway, you're going to, if Sussman, if his defense team is smart, then they just spill the beans and they say, hey, wait a second. Sussman, sure, he lied. And you want to know why? There was this unofficial understanding that Baker and Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper and all of them wanted to go after Trump. And Sussman was just caught in the middle. He was just doing his job. He was just getting paid by, the Clinton campaign and the Democratic Party. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a tech executive and researchers obtaining information. And you know what? The Bureau accepted the information, not because they were duped by Sussman, but because they actually wanted to go after Trump. Then the doors are wide open for a whole bunch of convictions and indictments. I don't know. Like, he risks 5 years in prison. So if there's no plea deal, the man risks 5 years in prison. And it's not like the reason, like, you have a lot of Trump when people in the Mueller probe got indicted for lying to the FBI and they didn't serve that long, the lies had nothing to do with Trump being installed by, you-know-who, because that never happened. That when they went after, like, Papadopoulos, for example, who was set up and framed, or Flynn, who was set up and framed, he was pardoned, as he should have been, because he did nothing wrong. They had the transcripts, Flynn's transcripts. I mean, you just set up and frame people. They were indicting people in the Mueller probe for process crimes that had nothing to do with why the Mueller probe existed. The Durham probe special counsel indictments are directly related and correlated to why the Durham probe exists. It's game over. So even a year, 2 years, you don't want to, for just to work for Clinton, just to work for the Democratic Party, like, nothing good comes from actually getting paid from Democrats to do something despicable. Nothing good. You're engaging in 18 U.S. Code 371. You might not, like, you don't need this contract with a whole bunch of people, government loyalists and operatives of the Democratic Party saying, oh, we're going to conspire against Trump to deceive and defraud the American public. Signed, all these people loyal to one political side. You just have attorneys like Sussman begin investigations based on data they obtained, possibly through illegal means or unethical means, deliberately trying to deceive or trying to work alongside government agents, government officials who needed a pretext. So if he hints to government officials needing a pretext in some kind of plea deal, it's game over. It's game over. Now you have the same government that's trying to actually work with the Durham probe special counsel being implicated. So what the Durham probe special counsel is doing is pitting both sides that were working in unison 6 years ago. What the Durham probe is doing is pitting them against one another. If in his plea deal he's saying, yeah, there were people within the Bureau that wanted Trump not to be in the Oval Office, well, then now you have potential litigation or indictments of Peter Strzok, McCabe, and possibly Comey, who has the goods on everybody, almost certainly. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Hit subscribe also to, I have the stock market crash channel, so, I'm not doing the work I should on the stock market crash channel because I'm focusing only on this channel. Obviously, we're almost at 200,000 subs, but I really think that you're going to love the Indict and Imprison 45 channel. It's below in the pinned comment. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you so very, very much. Share this everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.